Hello and welcome or welcome back. If you're new to this channel, my name is Jen and I wanted to share with you tonight kind of this business idea I've been toying around with, and I thought I would include you in on this journey pretty early on. And I kind of want to share this with three different audiences. Number one, I have, my already subscribers who, kind of already know me already, and they're gonna be like, what the heck are you doing now? Category two, the people out there who find themselves also considering looking into this, but are just like, oh my gosh, like, it's a little overwhelming. Not gonna lie, I'm overwhelmed too. So you can watch me go first in attempting this. And then the third category, if you've come across this video because it's something that you already do or have experience in, feel free to leave some tips below. And I am talking about property preservation business, also known as foreclosure trash outs, clean outs, things like that. So this actually only came about less than 2 weeks ago. And we were at a friend's house for Friendsgiving, and we were on the backyard around the campfire. We had soup and bread, and we just talked with some friends that we hadn't seen in a while. Well, here the one guy was telling me about his job, and here they clean out like foreclosed homes. Not in the area where we live. They commute like about an hour south of here to like a larger city, and it's just one of those jobs that you never like think of. You're like, oh yeah, I guess people would do that. But as he's telling me about, like, I was just really intrigued. I was like, oh, I might like to do that. Now, a little bit of backstory, like, I have a full-time job that I've done for about 8 years now, and I do really like it, but I, along with a lot of other Americans, have faced recently, the vaccine mandate, and again, not trying to divide people on this video and go off on that, but I was one of the people that submitted an exemption request and wasn't sure, like, if they deny this, I might not have a job. So I was already kind of seeking a plan B emergency plan, and I was like, if I needed a job, like, what could I do? And this was the first one where I was actually excited about. The other jobs that I kind of come across, I was like, well, if I had to do that, I would. But the more I thought about this one, I was like, oh, this sounds really cool. And I talked to the guy a little bit more, and actually even, talked to him about like checking out their crew and maybe like working for them. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, well, why can't I do that? Like up in this area and like kind of run my own thing. So here's the thing, like, this job, it's like a reseller's dream, because anything you find that can become part of your income for the job, any furniture that's left behind, anything. Now, of course, I mean, the job in itself is very, very brutal and can be a lot of hard work. If you're not familiar with kind of what the kind of things you could run into or what you might see, go on YouTube and just do a search for foreclosure cleanouts. It could be like a hoarder house, or like, you're wearing a gas mask the whole time you're in the house. So just kind of walking you through from, a couple weeks ago of me first learning that this kind of job like exists to kind of where we're at now and really looking at this. So this was going to be like my viable option. Like if I lost my job, ready to hit the ground running and like hustle hard and, make this work no matter what. I found out today, I'm not going to lose my job. My exemption request was approved. And part of me was like, oh man. I am truly grateful and I have a good job. But part of me still wants to kind of like pursue this avenue and check it out. So I've been watching a whole lot of other like YouTube videos out there of people that have done this and have started their own business doing it and kind of what's involved and what's needed. There's not much like literature out there. I did find 2 books that I ordered on eBay, and hopefully they'll be here in a few days and kind of see what valuable information they have to offer. But I think really the only thing you need to have to get started, choose a business name, get your business license, your EIN, tax number, And then you also need insurance. I think you're required to have about $1 million in insurance. So that would basically be your startup costs to get that up and running. Now, after you have that, I'm still kind of feeling around in the dark here in terms of like, okay, how do I get those jobs then? So the tips that I've found so far is to go onto the foreclosure websites and find out what realtor agencies in your area, deal with the foreclosed houses. Because those are the realtors that are going to be looking for somebody. If they come across a house for them to sell and it's full of trash, realtors don't have the time to take care of that, so they'll hire it out and have someone else come in and clean out the house. So right now that's where I'm at as far as what my game plan would be for that. I'd probably go through Vistaprint, get some business cards, maybe some magnets printed up, and write a letter kind of introducing myself and what services I would be providing, and kind of almost like cold calling, like mail them out to those realtors and see if that gets me anywhere. I have heard, once you get in, with any realtor, the jobs will start, continuing to come, and it won't be as hard to find those jobs as to get them. They'll know to call you. So from what I understand, or what I've seen in other videos, you might be invited to place a bid on a job. You go to a house and you will give them your estimate of what you would charge them to clean it out. One thing I learned from someone else on YouTube, they said never charge less than $500. So I believe the range you can charge for a clean out, trash out, would be like $500 in the low end, all the way up to maybe like $2,500, depending on how bad it is. If you go in and it's just like trash floor to ceiling in every room of the house, yeah, you're gonna charge a lot. So today I was kind of getting a feel for additional costs. So if I would do a bid for a house, like I was getting quotes from like the dumpster rentals today, how much to have one of those big rollout dumpsters, placed in front of the property that you can fill it up, and then they'll come and take it back away. Now, so it's about $400 for a dumpster. So if you're doing like a small house and there's not like a whole lot of garbage or trash or furniture or stuff like that, and you don't need a dumpster, obviously you don't want to take the job for $500 and spend $400 of it on a dumpster. You can haul the trash yourself to the dump. I drive a 2-door Jeep. It barely fits my groceries. So if this works out, either maybe trade that in for a truck, or you can rent a U-Haul, which would be less than a dumpster. Anyway, you can, whatever vehicle you would put the things in, you can drive it straight to the local dump, and they weigh it. So they will weigh your vehicle with all the junk and stuff in it. Then you get rid of the junk, take it out, then they'll weigh your vehicle again. So you're charged by weight that way. So kind of figuring out the pricing of that. Another thing, when you're going through a house, trying to, make your estimate for your bid, other things to consider are what kinds of things are in the house. So far I know that tires are very hard to get rid of. Like there's certain things you're not allowed to put in the dumpster. So tires are one. I think TVs are a pain in the butt to get rid of. These certain electronics, air conditioners, things like that. It's going to cost more, and I'm still trying to figure out, okay, well, where exactly do you take those and how much does it cost? So as you're walking through a property, if like, okay, there's 8 tires there, I want to know in my head, okay, well, how much do I need to add to this bid? Because this is what it's going to cost me to get rid of those. And then you want to also look at like, how many people is it going to take to get this job done, and how many days? Wishful thinking, like I wish they would be jobs that like I could handle on my own. This kind of gets to the overwhelming part of like, okay, I'm gonna have to find people to work for me. Obviously I'm not carrying a couch outside by myself. I might try. And my husband kind of said to me the other day, I have this big desk in my office, and he's like, what if you come across like a big desk like this that has to like go downstairs? So I'm like, well, if you're junking it, just give me a sledgehammer. We'll take it down in pieces. So again, I don't want to like romanticize this job in any way. Like it's gonna be hard. But I do figure that there'll be a lot that I can do on my own, like just like a lot of the garbage and trash or just things like that. And sometimes when people leave, like they leave everything behind. So again, like there is that opportunity to keep things to resell. You can donate things. I'm wondering, if there's like a nice piece of furniture, like take a picture of it on the spot and just throw it up on Facebook Marketplace and be like, must be picked up today, and have somebody just get it out for you. Make an extra buck that way. And so back to, having to hire someone, obviously the easiest thing to do would just be like kind of pay them under the table, be like, hey, come work for me for the day and I'll pay you X amount of dollars. I think you're allowed to do that, but only up to so many hours, and then like they have to be on the books. So there would be a lot of bookkeeping, learning that I'd have to do to make sure that things would be done correctly. And that's kind of the part that doesn't excite me. Like, I just, give me the job, I'll do the job, you give me the money, on to the next job. So there is a lot of other things to take into consideration. So yeah, so it's a lot. And again, I am keeping my full-time job. But I do want to pursue this, and kind of just dip my toes in, get the business license, get my insurance, make contact with the realtors, and get one job under my belt, work on it, nights and weekends, and just kind of see how it goes. I mean, maybe it'll just be a nice side gig, to make some extra money. But yeah, that's kind of what I've learned so far. So stay tuned when I have more of an update, of kind of taking some of those steps. If I run into any hiccups or whatnot, we'll continue on this journey and see if it goes anywhere. So thanks for joining me for that, and I'll see you next time. Bye.